Hello, and welcome to the After Action Review podcast. I am Coach Latham, and today I have a very special guest, one of my good friends that is dear to me, Lindsey Williams, a phenomenal woman who is here to help me kick off Women's History Month. And without further ado, let's get into today's episode. All right. Hello. So this is Coach Latham _ PhD. And listen, I am back and I am so excited because I told you that I was going to have my friend Lindsey on, the Brooklyn doll. She's on the show. I'm smiling so much because we've already been cutting up for it had already been 20 minutes now. Yeah, y'all just have no idea. So I don't want to take up too much more of her time today. So we're going to switch in. I'm bringing Lindsey in now, and we're going to get the show rolling. All right. Hello. Oh, my gosh. So as always, here is my girl's information for social media. I need to create you one, too, for the podcast. So folks know where to go and listen at.
That's right.
Yeah.
The podcast is called Hard to Swallow.
Mm-hmm.
It means everything you're thinking right now. It's all things Black, all things queer, all things Black woman, all things crazy and insane. Pop culture, politics. Yeah, and fun stuff too.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, my name is Lindsey. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm an older doll.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in my late 40s. And I'm actually I call it a second phase of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm really exploring a career in writing. I've always written, and I'm really beginning to take it seriously now. I have a regular job, I work for Verizon. I've worked there for a number of years, but it's what I do when I clock out that means the most to me.
Yes.
And writing is one of those things. I currently write for a web series called Triangle, which has been online now. Oh my goodness, for 7 seasons, Demetrius.
I know
7 seasons. It's kind of a weird thing. It is an LGBTQIA show. And I am a Black cis-het woman, so eyebrows get raised.
Okay.
But not for me. I like to say that I am a queer woman.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I mean by queer is, in my rationale, in my way of thought, it's not about my sexuality, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But if that's what people want to think, they can go ahead and think that. But I navigate the queer community at large. 90%, literally 90% of my life is wrapped up in the queer community. So I am, a Black queer woman in that regard.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's just a little sprinkle about me.
Yeah. So many different projects. So, okay. And, I have to introduce you as the Brooklyn doll. I just,
I am the Brooklyn doll. I mean, I'm very much BK. I've lived here all my life. For those who don't know, Brooklyn, New York.
Mm-hmm.
That is where I reside. That is where I've literally spent all of my years. And it is very much a part of who I am. Us Brooklyn girls we're really nice. We're very sweet. But when we turn up, we sound like men. I mean, that's really indicative for girls in New York, period. Your Nicki Minaj's, your Cardis, and your Little Kims. Little Kim, of course, being the representative for Brooklyn. But yeah, that's basically how we do. We're nice
So
and sweet until it's time.
it's like Sour Patch Kids.
Yes, sweet and sour. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. That is exactly it.
Listen, I'm just so excited to have you here. I haven't seen you since let me see. I was in New York with Jay.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah. Oh, it
God.
was at Shane's grand opening there.
It sure
Yeah,
was. That was
yep.
quite a while ago.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
COVID shut a lot of stuff down, especially as far
It,
as New York was concerned. So,
yes. And I believe when you guys were here, it was still COVID
hmm
time.
hmm
Yeah, things were still shut down. Restaurants really weren't open. You guys were gagging because, like, where's the restaurant? What?
yeah, we had to
We're
eat outside
closed.
in the cold.
Here's closed. We're masking up here.
Yeah, but New York definitely needed to. I mean, just the rate of infection, and then they have a lot of elderly people that live in New York, same as in Florida, and but the city is so much more densely populated.
Yes, and
So
that was an
yeah,
issue. And we're still masked up here
okay.
in New York, at least indoors. They're trying to think about relaxing certain things. I don't know. I'm still working from home, which I'm
hmm
so elated about because
Okay.
I get to do so many other different things while I'm
Yeah.
working. So, yeah, it's still pretty much not shut down, but it's
hmm
still a little everyone's a little bit trepidatious. And the trains, I'm scared of them, you
Yeah.
know, because it seems like there's a scarcity as far as law enforcement. And before I knew it was because they needed to protect themselves
hmm
because as you well know, law enforcement is like the first line, like you guys are the first line of defense against anything. So if
hmm
anything's happening, law enforcement is there, and that presence has been missing. So
hmm
things have been happening here in New York. I'm not even
hmm
gonna lie. But as far as that, we're going along to get along. Everybody's sort of resumed their life as much as possible. I know I have.
hmm
I'm getting a lot more done as far as my writing, and I'm able to really develop other things as I'm home, you know? So it's been kind of a good thing.
So that actually leads me into the first thing that I have. Well, the first first segment is about goal setting.
Oh,
Um,
great.
yeah, and kind of like we were joking around, and honestly, with the pandemic, and now there's the conflict that's happening in the Ukraine.
Yeah.
I mean, and just everything else that's still happening. We're really joking around, but like, what is the new normal? Like, what is the new like? I'm caught up on stuff. Just because like life has really changed.
The new normal is really the realization that we live in a crap country. And I hate to say it that way because it is our home,
hmm
but it's a shithole, excuse my French. And I don't know, it seems like things are happening all around us.
hmm
The US once again is going to get involved in something they have no business getting involved in. Um, there is another megalomaniac who is trying to just foist himself and insert himself and his country
Yes.
um into the lives of others.
hmm
I I'm scared of what occupation might really look like long term.
hmm
I know as of maybe a day ago, I read that one of the main cities in the Ukraine were occupied by Russian control already. So I think this is only the beginning of some
I know. So I've
only the
been,
beginning. I'm
I've been,
speechless because it's like once again tyranny is about to reign.
yeah. and I've been keeping up with it more so because my youngest, well, not my youngest brother, but my younger brother is still in the Marines,
Oh, is he
and
stationed anywhere near there?
so he just got back from Japan, and he was supposed to be getting out, and then because this conflict started up, they postponed his ability to discharge. And then his group, because he's in the infantry, was scheduled to go if there was an attack on NATO allies or
Mm-hmm.
any NATO troops that are
Yeah,
there now. So fingers crossed. He's been
he's
seeing
on
people
standby.
around him. Yeah, he's been seeing people around him get their 5 day letter to get out. So I'm just very hopeful that he's out because he's already been gone for like I think it was like 6 to 8 months. He was already in Japan, and then
Mm-hmm.
now he's home, but he's not able to leave the base to see anybody, and then he could get deployed, over there again for something that he has nothing to do with that started way before he was even born. like you know, um,
That's the thing, well, my prayers are with you and your
mhm,
family and your brother. I know he wants to serve the country, but come on.
yeah, yeah.
I
He's
totally
so
get it.
when he first got into it, it was kind of real similar to how I first felt when I got into police work. Like, you want to save the world. You really do have your hero complex, and then over time, you start getting burned by the agency or your department, and then you see like lack of support in the community, and then you start to like recognize, okay, I just need to focus on like the real victims of crimes out here,
Absolutely.
because if I try to save everybody, that's going to lead me to be burned out and disgruntled,
Absolutely. It'll be to
and
my detriment.
yeah,
Yeah.
and everybody doesn't want to be saved.
Mhm. Honey, say we know about saving hoes that don't want to be saved. Okay. Some of these hoes, you gotta leave them by the wayside.
Okay. Okay. Like you trying to
Hmm.
mess around and block God's lesson, trying to be a blessing.
Okay. And let these blessings come on through.
Okay.
Yeah, it's that's pretty much it. After a while, you have to think about yourself and your own
Hmm.
well-being at the end of the day. Yeah,
Hmm.
so I bet that's a startling realization, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. He was very upset when, when he first had that realization. I remember being like very, very upset. Um, he was upset with the military. He was upset with the recruiters. He was like, we call it like the machine. So he's upset at the machine. And then because one had already worked for an all white department, um, and then, going into work for Metro Louisville with this larger agency that is
Mhm.
still disproportionately white, and just starting to mix and mingle, I had a better understanding of the system and the politics, especially post Breonna Taylor, seeing all
Yes.
that fallout. Um, I mean, it was just so I was in such a good space to be able to nurture him and just help him along that path. And
Yes.
so,
And just
yeah,
get him through. I get it.
yeah, yeah.
No, yeah,
I
I
was like,
get
listen,
it.
man, just hang in there until you can get out, and then
The
once you
amount
get
of
out,
stress, I'm telling you, people don't even realize there is such a thing as minority stress.
hmm,
And, being in these situations on a day to day basis takes a toll on the mind, the
hmm,
body, and the spirit. It
hmm,
sure does.
hmm,
Um,
yeah.
so
That's the
I
whole
get that.
the whole premise behind like the stress behind code switching.
Hmm.
Like going to work or school or wherever you go, the supermarket, like, oh well, I can't wear my head wrap. Like I got to take that off
Right.
because I'm gonna look raggedy. Like no, just have my hair wrapped up. Hi,
No,
hello, I have money too. I
everything becomes a codifier. Like
yeah.
everything becomes a codifier. Like, my hair,
Hmm.
whether I have money, if I'm ghetto, like everything.
Hmm.
So yeah, I go along to get along and slap who I need. No.
That was the Brooklyn side coming out.
Slap who I need to slap. No, for real. I go along to get along, and I I do the best I can. That's what we
Hmm.
all do,
Hmm.
actually. We acclimate to certain things. But I am learning, and especially as I get older, that I love being Black. I love everything about the culture, even
Hmm.
every subculture.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, I embrace it all. Whether people think it's ghetto, whether people think it's gauche, whether I listen, I embrace it all. There's something for everybody. I don't ascribe to everything. No, I
Hmm.
don't, but I'll still embrace it. And if you
Yeah.
catch me in the right mood, I might defend it.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
twerking. I like that.
Yeah.
I like
Listen, I wish that I had rhythm and I could get the gist of it. It's
you can
just
really
you know
get it going.
okay. I can
I
speak to
seen you
people. I
though.
can
You do what you
empower them.
can. You do what you
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
You do what you can, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Um okay, but I do want to circle back. So I want to go back to that goal setting piece because
Yes.
I mean, your ability to be efficient and productive and like task oriented, like let's just dig into that because you gave us like a very small snippet of what Lindsay is involved in.
Oh, yes. You know what, Demetrius? I'll tell you, I am doing a lot of. There is a lot of goal setting this year.
Hmm.
There's a lot of things. I am now involved in a ballroom house.
Hmm.
With those who are not familiar, ballroom is a subculture of, well, a queer subculture where it's like
Hmm.
competition, there's pageantry, there's all sorts of things. And they were basically formed a long time ago because, you know, queer youth had a hard go, and a lot
Hmm.
of people were thrown out of their homes, and so houses were formed.
Hmm.
And that legacy is still continuing now to this day. There's been, the show Pose is loosely based on ballroom culture. So now
Hmm.
I'm part of a ballroom house. So it involves a lot of organization, a lot of goal setting, a lot of meetings, things that weren't really incorporated into my life before. Now, goal setting, yes, because
Hmm.
this year in particular, I'm getting ready for retirement. And
Oh, okay.
yeah, I mean,
Congratulations.
well, it's not coming for a few years, but I figured I'd get a head start. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? To really zero in because I want to still be young and popping.
Okay.
I don't want to be a drone for the rest of my life. Like I've done it for so long, but no, I'm serious. I want to be able to still be young enough to enjoy my life, even though
Yes.
I'm on the younger side of old,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So there's been a lot in terms of goal setting, not only with the house that I'm involved in, but in my personal life.
Hmm.
So this year, well, it actually started last year, like late last year, because I tried to have that going on at the beginning of 2021. It didn't come together the way I would have liked.
Hmm.
However, so late last year, that's when I really started getting into the idea of making lists every day, really being conscientious about things that I wanted to accomplish. Um, Lists are really good. And
Yes.
because I'm a Virgo, I've always made lists. But I really make lists. Like I make lists for everything now. I've made lists before, but not like this. I have a
Yeah.
list for everything. But it is such a sense of accomplishment when you tick all those things off. Especially,
Hmm.
I try to start the beginning of the day with a list, and I don't overwhelm myself.
Yes.
People make that mistake of, I'm going to put 10 things that maybe you're not going to get to all 10.
Yeah.
Maybe you can only do 3 things today. And I put the most mundane, I put everything. Like even, okay, let's sweep up the hallway. Let's mop
Hmm.
today. Just ticking those off Sometimes it's 3 things, sometimes it's 5 things. It depends on how, when I get up, if I'm centered or not, what the day is going to bring. But that
Hmm.
has been so helpful to me in terms of goal setting, in terms of, you know, structuring my life in a way that is purposeful and fortifying. You
Yes.
know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's been a really big help.
Yes. So that's one of the things that I use in my coaching practice is I like to start my clients out with scheduling the first 4 hours of their day. Because a lot of times people are not used to writing down like what they're going to do. They just kind of like wake up and, okay, this is how I feel
And
today.
loosey goosey. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, no, let's just start with the first 4 hours of every day and just write down what you're going to do hour by hour and just
See, I'm
stop there.
stealing that. I'm still kind of loosey goosey, even with my,
Hmm.
but I like the idea of a time, like a
Hmm.
time, like really, I do like that. And I follow
Hmm.
a lot of your stuff. I listen,
Hmm.
I listen to Demetrius's voice in the back of my mind. Get it done. That's a real thing. Get it done.
Yes. No, listen,
I'm dead serious.
I told you there was a time where I used to listen to the podcast, the Hard to Swallow podcast,
Hmm.
just so that I could hear Lindsay's voice because
Oh my God, me
well,
being
I would say
crazy.
I would say her voice and her opinion because your perspective comes from it's like it's such a like it's a different place. And it's like it's got like a motherly feel to it, but also
Hmm.
still has like this friendship piece. And it's like, oh, listen, let me reel you back in. It just bring you back into the fold because I don't know what you're talking about. You just way over here.
It is. It's like mama, auntie, the girl on the corner snapping gum. Like I
Yeah.
have all these personalities like roll in one. So yes, and that has framed my perspective,
Hmm.
especially on a lot of cultural and political issues,
Hmm.
because I've taken such a strange path in my life. People are like, "Why are you're always around gay people?" Yeah, I'm a gay. Yeah. Yep, I am a gay, and it's fine.
Yes. Well, one,
Fine.
we love you. We appreciate you. We need you. You know, I really do hope everybody takes a moment and goes over to Hard to Swallow podcast. They have been podcasting for a significant amount of time,
Oh
so
my God, for 4 years
there's
now.
tons of episodes to listen to.
And it
Um,
is so ridiculous.
listen,
That show is a mess, but it's fun.
there,
It's fun. We love it.
there was one time where I was on the plane and I was laughing so hard I was in tears. And the lady next to me was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Nah, like I'm not sad. This is hilarious. I just need a minute." But yeah. You know
Maybe.
what? So the next thing I was gonna go into was about balancing the different facets of life. But why don't we go into relationships and then we'll break this into two things. So we'll have
Okay.
relationships as friendships, and then we'll have our relationships as like with romantic partners.
Romantic partners.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think branching off from the podcast, to talk about Emery and Lyrical Mar and like how you all have such a really good banter on the show, and you're
Hmm.
just able to go back and forth and you all create that space where everybody can come in with their ideas and perspectives.
Well, it is. I don't know. It is my love for both of them.
Hmm.
I am obsessed with Emery. He is like my child, my little brother, my nephew. He is all those things rolled up
Hmm.
in one for me. So because of our closeness, I always tell Emery he's so lucky because he gets to work with the people that love him the most.
Yes. Yes.
Lyrical Mars, his gay mother, and he met him when he was like a kitten. The fact that we all get along is kind of like nuts.
Yeah.
But we really came together because of him. And
Hmm.
it's because of that, that initial relationship with him that our relationship, all three of us, has gotten stronger. We're all good friends now,
Yeah.
you know? And
Yeah.
it's like basically Emery has three mothers. He has his mom,
Hmm.
Marcus, and me.
Hmm. 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 And it comes out in the show.
Yes,
Like
it's definitely
this.
apparent in the show. It is definitely, that's why we're so like, we used to have a fourth on the show, and
Yes.
that person also loved Emery. That was one of his good friends.
Hmm.
But I, after a while, I think it was just better for us to be for it to be the three of us. I don't
Hmm.
know. We just gel the best, and it just makes sense.
Hmm.
You know, I take my friendships
Very
very,
seriously.
very seriously. I do.
That's
You
a
know
line.
this.
That's a line from an episode where they talk about friendship. You
And
know.
they're the most important thing to me. Like, since my parents are no longer here, my friends
Hmm.
are really my family. Like, and because I'm older, I don't say things like, "Oh, this is my best friend." This is family. Like,
Hmm.
your family,
Hmm.
Demetrius.
Hmm.
People that I hold dear and near to me. Like, they're important. These are people I would defend in a fight. I don't care what
Yes.
was going on. Like,
Yes.
you know what I mean? So it's very important. I've had to like really redefine what family meant.
Hmm.
Well, what family means ever since my parents died, because we're a small family on
Hmm.
both sides. And I'm close with my mother's family more so than my dad side of the family. But it was just really my mom, my dad, and my brother and I. And
Hmm.
we were small and we were very close. So after they passed, it was like I leaned on my friends for just about everything,
Yes. Yeah.
And I've had to become sort of a parental figure to people around me as well, which
Hmm.
was something I wasn't even realizing I was doing. You know what I mean? But yeah, friendship is important,
Yes.
definitely.
So there are two things that I got out of that. So the first thing is that, we can start something with people and then we get exposed to new groups of people. And then along the way, sometimes we have to drop other people off. And there's no hard feelings there. It's just that, just our paths are not crossing here. We can still hang out over here, but this is just
Absolutely.
something else that we have going on,
Right.
and I think that's a real important thing that you learn growing up, because there's nothing like trying to hold on to somebody that doesn't want to be there or is not treating you well. Like the
Yeah.
amount of stress and like just anguish that you take on trying to keep figuring out ways to fix it, and it's just not something that can be fixed.
It's something, and that's, yeah. And
Yeah.
then, in that particular instance, it was something that seemed so it didn't even seem like it was a big deal at the time, but the
Hmm.
person thought it was a big deal,
Hmm.
and it was time for them to go. We're
Yeah.
still good though. We're still good. We're still in communication, but they're just not a part of that journey
Hmm.
anymore. And it's fine, but I think it just works better this way, the three of us. It just
Hmm.
gels so much better.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, in life, sometimes you do have to drop people off at,
Hmm.
you know, prematurely because they're not headed to the same place you are.
Yep. Yep.
And it's fine.
Yeah, it is. And
Mhm.
like we just, wish you light and love just over that way.
Love and light. Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes,
okay.
yes. Hmm.
The other thing that you talked about, I recently talked to my mom about this. So like it was easier for me to move from Kentucky because my great grandmother had passed away.
Hmm.
There in and I'm sure you experienced this, and correct me if I'm wrong, but there is just like a piece of you that you really like are never able to find again when you really lose somebody that you care about.
Yeah,
Like Not that
Mm-hmm.
you're lost. It's
No.
just something that like you just can't close back up.
I always tell people grief is not kind.
Hmm. Hmm.
It
Hmm.
stays with you
Hmm.
for the rest of your life. It's something and when people pass away, I'm really careful about what I say to people. Because people are apt to leave like very, God-centered, you know, words of condolence and stuff like that. But
Hmm.
even with that, I don't want to use faith as a panacea for something that you might, grief has a lot of emotions involved,
Hmm.
anger,
Hmm.
all kinds of stuff. Sometimes we can't use faith to bandage that. I usually say things like, and I don't want to be pessimistic either,
Hmm.
because I know what's at the end of that road. You never get over it. And there's
Hmm.
nothing I can say in the moment. All I say is things like, everything you're feeling right now, you have a right to feel. And it will get better, you know. Um, it's something I tell myself every day.
Hmm.
I miss my parents every day.
Hmm.
There's not a day that goes by that I don't think about them. And there is something that leaves you when someone you love, like really dearly, someone close to you, dies. It's like,
Hmm.
I mean, the cliche thing to say would be a part of you dies, right?
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
is like a part of you dies.
Yeah.
I'm
I
not
wish
the
I
same
like.
person. Like,
Yeah.
do
I
you
wish that
feel
I
like
could
you're even
explain
the
it.
same person that you were
No.
when your beloved granny died? You're not.
Mm-mm.
You are. I'm
Nope.
telling you, you aren't. Because I know I'm not. I'm not the
Nope.
same girl.
Yeah. It
I'm not the
just
same person.
I feel like it prepared me for when that time comes for like my mom and my dad, because I'll have had a little bit of experience dealing with it. Like it's still
Yeah,
gonna hit you like a bag of
oh
bricks,
yeah, it's gonna hit
you
you like a
know.
ton of bricks, but
But
it's something you'll know that pain.
hmm.
You'll know that pain and it'll greet you like an old friend. I hate to be all sad, but I
No,
have
but
to
it
be
is.
real.
Yeah, like sometimes I'll be working out, I might be running. So my great grandmother was like real big into church. She was from a small
Mhm.
town in Georgia, so church
Mhm.
was a big thing. So old church songs, some just like, and it's so crazy, like old smells or something,
Oh,
or
absolutely. And it's funny because I'm go back and forth because I'm like, oh, Lindsay, you need to get out of that. I used to really enjoy gospel music. I can't
hmm.
because it makes me think of their funerals now. And
Hmm.
everyone goes, but even the good song, yes, even the good song,
Yeah,
Leandria, all I don't care who it is. Any of that type of soul stirring singing, I
yeah,
can't hear it. It makes me cry, it makes me emotional. I don't want to hear it. Period.
yeah,
I don't care who's singing. Tasha Cobb, I don't care who it is. I can't listen to it. And I used to really enjoy gospel music.
yeah,
Um, it's just certain things. My dad was an athlete. He loved basketball. He loved football. I
hmm,
loved football. I do not watch football now. I do not watch basketball. Neither
yeah,
does my brother. I found out that's actually a recent
mm,
thing. I thought my brother was still, he's like, nah, that's something I used to do with dad a lot. Mm-mm. It's just, you don't have the same feeling, fervor,
hmm,
and it brings back, I don't know, I don't know, it makes you feel wistful. It doesn't,
yeah,
but I don't know.
hmm,
I'm getting to a point where even after like 4 or 5 years now, I'm starting to be comforted by their memories. Before I wasn't.
hmm,
Like I didn't want them visiting me. I didn't in my dreams. I did not want that. I did not want to feel your spirit. I did not. It
yeah,
wasn't comforting. It would make me angry. But I'm beginning to be comforted by the thought of, possibly them watching me and my brother,
hmm,
that
hmm,
sort of thing. It's a
hmm.
process.
No, it really is. And I just so I used to do, like what you said, and I still kind of do that in a sense. Like, I really don't go to church anymore
Mm-hmm.
because that was something I always did with her. But I do watch it on a live stream. Like,
Hmm.
it's I don't know, it just when I think about going into the church, it's like stressful.
Yes.
Like it makes me anxious.
Yes.
But I
That
can
warm
watch it on the
feeling you
live
used to
stream.
get
Yeah.
going with her, it's not a warm feeling. It's like, oh, I'm here by myself. Grandma, it's a
Yeah.
lot.
hmm So
Thank goodness for
when I
live streams, though.
right. So when I used to work for Metro PD, I would her church was actually well, her house was in my old beat. So I would go over there and sit on the porch because that was something that we used to do together.
Hmm.
And then her church or primary church home was on my beat. So I used to go over there and eat my lunch in the parking lot, and that was like my time to sit with
Hmm.
her and stuff. But
Yeah.
I didn't go back out to the grave site. Let's see, she passed away in 2017. I didn't go back out to the grave site until um, late last year, like December last year. Yeah,
I
yeah. So I
haven't,
think I went
and
home.
I'm trying
Yeah.
to get me and my brother are trying to get up the nerve this
hmm
year.
Yeah.
I want to be able to get to a place where I can go to the gravesite, leave flowers, maybe
hmm
update the marker, something.
hmm
But it's just been everything is a
Yeah.
process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. It is. It is, and that
Hmm.
goes into so your family is chosen for you, but then when you get your friends, you get to choose those people, and that's
And
why
it's
it's so
wonderful to choose
special.
your family. Yeah, it is.
Yes, I've talked to you about my friends from Louisville, and you know how much I care about
Yes.
them, how much they care about me, and
Hmm.
it's just so much love all over the place.
Yes,
You
it
know.
fulfills you and it sustains you through the hardest of times.
hmm
Your chosen family. Your chosen family is really special. You know what I
hmm
mean? Like your family, the one you're born into is your God given, right? But
hmm
your chosen family is also God given.
Yes.
And it's what God gives you, like the tools to figure out what kind of people you need to be around. You know what I mean? Or what kind of energy you need circulating around you
hmm
in
hmm
order to survive in this crazy world. It's so true. Like you get to choose, who you get to be around in order to survive this insane world. And
hmm
it's special.
Yes.
Definitely, you know.
Oh, gosh, I love you, Lindsay. This is why I
I
was
love you.
so
I'm so
thank you.
happy.
This is why I was so happy to have you come on. Like now,
Hmm.
everybody is getting to experience what I experienced.
Wow.
so, so
Wow.
before we transition into talking about relationships from more of a
Hmm.
lovey-dovey perspective,
Yes, yes.
um, I want to talk about like mental health. So we talked about grief and depression,
Hmm.
and so just because you worked in film and writing, you
Yes.
worked in corporate America,
Yeah.
so like when you think about growing up as a young Black woman in New York and then transitioning through all of these different areas in your life, like
Yeah.
from where you used to be to now, like what have you learned about mental health? And I guess what if a young person or somebody wanted to come and have a conversation with you about that, how would that conversation go?
Well, that conversation, interestingly enough, I'm always having conversations about mental fitness, mental health. Child, I'm always trying to get somebody together, get your mind right. For
Okay.
me, for me, I always really go back to therapy.
hmm
Um, Expressing the need for therapy, and well, even if you don't want to partake in it,
Mm-hmm.
thinking about at least giving it a thought at in a
Mm-hmm.
point in your life when you feel like you're ready. Therapy is a good way to talk about things to an objective person and
Mm-hmm.
have them really help you connect certain dots about things that may have happened in your life. It is so important. And I say this really important for everyone, but specifically for Black people,
Mm-hmm.
specifically for queer people, women. I mean, Black people, we need it.
Mm-hmm.
There have been so many generational things, cyclical things that have happened that are woven into the fabric of our blood from slavery.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes connecting certain dots al- allow you to recalibrate your thinking and undo, it helps undo some of um
The trauma.
the trauma and the
Mm-hmm.
harm and the hurt.
Mm-hmm.
um I'm also at a point too where I'm also taking my physical health very
Mm-hmm.
seriously. Like I'd already started.
Mm-hmm.
We're turning it up a notch because I was sick for the whole month of January.
I know we talked about
Yeah.
that.
And this is not, and I don't like that because this is the second time I've entered a new year sick. I
Mm-hmm.
suffer from vertigo. If anyone's not familiar with vertigo, extreme dizziness, it could be caused by anything. They say it's like the crystals in your ear, some foolishness. But it can also be brought on by stress and certain things like not getting enough rest.
Mm-hmm.
So I was really upset that for the second year in a row, I entered a new year with sickness of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like in April, because everything was booked up, I'm getting a battery of tests, like really taking my physical health to the next level. Because I was home January, I was upset, wanted to be comforted. I'd lost a lot of weight, gained some of it back, didn't beat myself up. I'm back at it, back in the
Mm-hmm.
gym, back doing, and I'm tweaking things to learn along the way as well. Because
Mm-hmm.
as a woman of a certain age, I want people to know that Black does and has crack.
And
Okay.
you don't have to be doing crack for it to
Right.
happen.
You don't have to be right. You could just be sitting there and it
Okay.
start cracking. Um crack in a number of ways. Like, especially as a Black woman. So I want to be pulled, honey. I
Mm-hmm.
want to still be pulled and tight and right. So I had to really be conscious about um, what I'm putting in my body for the first
Mm-hmm.
time. I'm really conscious about it. What
Good.
I'm putting in my body, what I'm ingesting, what my output as far as going to the gym,
Mm-hmm.
amping up my workouts, changing my workouts. Like right now, I just got my eyebrows microbladed, so I can't go to the gym for 2 weeks. So I've had to switch up my workout,
Okay.
which is fine. So that's been a thing. I'm like, I love going to the gym, but it's been interesting at home doing, finding things to do, getting
Mm-hmm.
my little weights out and working up a little sweat for a half an hour. It's
Yeah.
just liberating and I need it. That is also tied into your mental health
Mm-hmm.
because doesn't the body release something when you, especially when you
Mm-hmm.
do cardio,
Mm-hmm. Yes, it
it
releases
releases
endorphins.
endorphins
Yep.
that help calm the mind and, detoxify the body.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm learning about all of that, how that's related. Sleep,
Mm-hmm.
working out, eating, all of these things. And that is all linked to your mental health as
Yeah.
well,
A big
you
one
know?
that a lot of people skip out on is drinking water.
And drinking water. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Not just to have, good, clear, healthy skin, and
No,
like and working joints, but like the body really does need water. The brain needs water.
it needs
Um,
water.
just
Your brain, you need sleep. You need that
yeah.
REM sleep. It resets, it regenerates the
Hmm.
body. That
Yep.
REM sleep, like going deep into sleep. Like I'm noticing, like I try to put my every electronical device,
Hmm.
I try to have it away from me so I
Hmm.
can really get a good night's sleep.
Yes.
And
So
that's been working.
a really good feature is to put that phone into sleep mode.
Yes.
If you have an iPhone, Apple now has like
Mm-hmm.
5 different settings. Listen, you don't have to worry about missing a phone call. Tell the person to call you 2 times in under 60 seconds. It'll ring.
Yes.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, we can put people through on the emergency call list so they can get through to you. But it's
Right.
so important. I learned this when I was first working nights, like that phone constantly going off, whether it's Instagram,
Notifications.
Twitter, messages, phone calls. Oh, I didn't know you were asleep. It's not your fault, you know. And then if you work nights and you competing with the sun, you know, you have to have you got to have shoot. Why am I drawing a blank? I used them for like 7 years. Why am I drawing a blank? Uh, oh my
You
god, I'm
need to
really drawing a
have,
blank. Why am I drawing a blank?
if you work
Dang,
nights, you need to, well, you need to calm you, well, how to block out the sun. How would
blackout
you block
shades.
out?
You got to
Yes.
get blackout shades. There we
Mm-hmm.
go. Guess what? I was going to Google, but it came to me. It came to me because I was going right to Google.
Block out
But
shades.
yes,
Exactly.
blackout shades. But
Mm-hmm. So you could give your mind that, trick your mind
yes,
into thinking it's nighttime. You need the darkness in order to get
yes.
your body to rest, begin to want to rest.
Because
It's so important.
if you're a person that is, and we usually say like struggling with mental illness, I think that was the way that it was always presented to us. But
Mm-hmm.
if you are a person that is experiencing mental illness and you take medication for that, the medication is there to help you, but not do everything, right?
Right.
It's there's so many different layers to working through that period of your life. So
Absolutely.
all
Diet,
these things go
all
together.
kinds of, yeah, all of these things work in tandem.
Hmm.
And that's when people, I've noticed, start to really, reclaim their lives, especially
Hmm.
people that have been diagnosed with like anxiety, bipolarism, all that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
Changing your diet, just being conscious.
Hmm.
You don't have to become a vegan. Everyone thinks the way I know so many fat vegans.
you don't, you don't
I'm
have to be
sorry, I
like my
do.
girl. You don't have to be like my girl Tabitha.
Who is beautiful inside. She's just like beautiful. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
when I
just
see a
like.
vegan, but that's what I want to look like. I don't want to be a fat vegan because a lot of vegan meals, a lot of vegan stuff is
Hmm.
heavy in
Hmm.
carbs, like the fake chicken, it's all processed, that stuff.
Yeah, and that's
I always
that's
tell
that's even
people,
worse than eating the regular meats.
I know the impossible burgers, though, that's still processed
Hmm.
meat. Just eat a
Yep.
veggie burger.
Yeah,
Just,
that's
just
it.
eat a veggie burger.
I ate my salmon the other day. Or no, not salmon. I haven't done it yet. But I had bison, and I made
Oh,
bison
how is
burgers.
that?
Oh, I love bison meat. Oh my god, it's so
Is it
good.
gamey or do you have to season it
No.
really well?
Mm-mm. So I season like my hamburger, turkey, and bison all the same. I pat the meat out, and then I season the inside, and then
Mm-hmm.
I turn it into a burger. So the seasoning cooks from
Mm-hmm.
the
So
inside
you
out.
see, right, you season it in a bowl. Right.
Hmm. Yep. And then once I cook it, so this time I made like a lettuce wrap, like the stuff you get
Mm-hmm.
from Jimmy John's or Five Guys. Oh
Mm-hmm.
my god, it was amazing.
We're not doing a lettuce wrap. I
Okay.
need to though. And it's delicious, but I need that nasty bread. Baby steps, Demetrius.
Okay.
Is what I've done is I'm not having any burgers
Okay.
because it's time to have one, I'm gonna have one, and then we're
Yes.
back on the horse, you
Okay.
know. But
So you
it's
practice in
yeah,
moderation. I love that.
yes,
I love that.
it's about and it's strict moderation too because I really need to be conscious, especially at the age that I am. I'm noticing things are happening. Things are
Hmm.
starting to happen that happens to women that women don't like to talk about. All the girls like to talk about hot flashes because that's cute. There are other horrible things that happen when you're a doll of a certain age
Okay.
that the
Well,
girls don't tell you about.
also, it's probably a good time to say it's Women's History Month. So
It
thank
sure
you.
is.
Yes.
Aww. And thank you to all my ancestors, all the women who came, wonderful women who came before me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's dig into it. Relationships.
Let's do it.
Okay. Now I know you've done multiple segments on Hard to Swallow.
Mm-hmm.
And since we've been going for about 20 minutes, let me drop that back in there for other people. This is where you can find Lindsay's podcast that she
Yeah.
co-hosts with Emery Lavelle J and Lyrical Mar.
Yes, yes.
So relationships. So here we are moving through 2022,
Mm-hmm.
and wow, let's just take this one right here. Okay, because we talk about mental health, talk about relationships. You probably already know where we're going. Let's
Mm-hmm.
talk Kanye and Kim.
Oh,
But we're gonna have a surface level conversation about this.
yeah, because I already cussed
Yeah.
both of them out on my show. And I'm not, we doing the Lord's work over here. So
Okay.
when I tell you I cussed their asses out, um,
So I haven't listened to that episode yet. So I'll tell you my thoughts.
sure.
I have been feeling like Kanye has been going through a series of just mental episodes ever since his mother passed away.
Mm-hmm.
After his mother passed away, I just felt like I saw this gradual decline, and then there started to become a lot of evident issues in his relationship that kept making it to the media. And then his activity on social media was just like all over the place. And I truly believe that he receives a pass because of his prestige and his money. Because from a policing perspective, anybody else who would have been taking reports for harassment, stalking, just, terroristic threatening, whatever you call it, in whatever state you live in, would have been taking those reports. It would have been restraining orders, injunctions,
And y'all
child
would have
protective
walked up to
services would have been
him,
involved.
and y'all would
Yeah.
have walked up to him and said, "Listen, player."
I mean, like, he's blatantly posting stuff on social media. He's, engaging in like verbal altercations and like online bullying with her new man. Just the stuff he's saying about his daughter, just like. And so I know that the documentary series came out. The limited series came out. Okay, which I honestly I haven't watched it yet. I feel like it's going to be more focused on his mother and his relationship. And
Because I've watched
okay,
it.
and I feel like, because I'm going to watch it tomorrow, I feel like what that is going to do, and I've kind of been seeing some of this stuff on social media, is, oh, look at the relationship he had with his mom. He needs his mom to affirm him and this, that, and the other. All that's great. All that's great. My mom affirms me. She tells me how proud she is of me. But her affirming me and how she feels about me has nothing to do with how I choose to treat people in my big old age. And that's,
As a grown man.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you take that away.
Well, I made the mistake of pressing play. Well, I didn't even press play because you know how on Netflix it
It's gonna play
basically
it for you.
goes, "Girl, this is next,"
Okay.
and I guess it's up to you whether you're gonna stop it or not. But it's gonna start to play. So that's exactly what happened. Netflix told me I was watching Kanye.
Okay.
I said this on the show, my podcast. I said, I'll say this: the first two, it's 3 acts, it's three
hmm
parts, and
hmm
the first two are very hopeful. They're inspiring. It almost uplifting in a way.
hmm
It really shows you his tenacity, his fortitude,
hmm
and all of these are good things. All of those
hmm
are wonderful things. Yes, his relationship with his mother was highlighted. Um, but he is someone who has always been looking for validation and affirmation from others.
hmm
And even though his mother was a champion of drilling that into him, somehow he didn't believe it. And it's still, and what I was able to observe is what I pointed out on my show is that that same young boy, that same young man that we meet at the beginning of the documentary is running the life of a grown man. He is still searching for that affirmation value, even with all the accolades,
hmm
even with all the money. You've been with the baddest bitch in the world. Well,
hmm
what you think is. Listen, well, Kim is a
True.
beautiful girl. I'm not
Yeah.
denying that,
Yeah.
but
Surgery is amazing.
isn't it?
You know.
But you know, even after all that, it's still not enough. And that thing, he's always chasing something.
hmm
He's always chasing something at one point, because what you got to think when a black man has reached his pinnacle, money, success, accolades, what more is there to want? Oh, yeah, to be a white man. And he wanted access to the mediocrity that white men so blatantly, blatantly, um, you know, um, what you call it? They so blatantly display,
hmm
and they're still able to be successful and do a whole bunch of things. He wanted
hmm
that too, but
hmm
when he got a glimpse of that mediocrity, it's not fun.
No, it's not fun.
It's not fun. What do
It's
you
not
do
fun
when
at
you speak
all.
to someone like Trump? He called himself aligning himself. He likes to, align himself with people that are naturally contrarian.
hmm
But that wasn't even fun. After a while, he abandoned that because that didn't give him the rush that he thought it was going to give him. And as
hmm
far as his relationship with Kim, these are two people, two surface people, um, who are very superficial.
hmm
Um, it was their relationship to me. It looked